Hi, I'm Azza and welcome to Digital News Asia.
This episode is brought to you by the Malaysian Software Testing Board, a national body that represents software quality assurance. Test it right.
DNA is here with the CEO of Time.com, Afzal Abdul Rahim. Afzal, how's it going?
I'm alright, thank you very much.
So you've just announced what some would consider some disruptive news in the market, right? 100 megabits of broadband.
Of fiber broadband.
Of fiber broadband. Very important distinction there.
Yes.
But in multi-dwelling, maybe I shouldn't use but
in
multi-dwelling, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Apartments, condominiums.
Yes.
So
available in 100,000 homes across the country.
That where you already
today.
Today.
That is correct.
Is there a plan to expand that, or that's your maximum capacity where you have fiber?
We
right
are
now?
Constantly expanding our coverage, and our coverage currently is about 100,000 homes.
100,000. What's the maximum you can reach in the country?
We don't know. We think that it all depends on how the take-up of the services are.
Okay.
But typically, urban population multi-dwelling units doesn't max up more than 250,000 units.
More than 250,000?
Yes. 250,000 units or homes around the valley.
Oh, okay. Around the
units.
valley. Okay.
Sorry, around the country.
Around the
excuse me.
country. All right.
Excuse me,
So,
yeah.
but earlier you mentioned just that when you are in virgin buildings, which I mean that there's no competitors there,
I
right?
would
So you're the
ask you
sole.
to watch your language.
Watch
please.
my language.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
It's above 18 for DNA, so we'll find that.
That's absolutely fine.
But you mentioned that the take-up rate then when you're in a virgin building is 30%, right? Which
I'm
actually
highly
seems
uncomfortable
very
with the language.
low.
The more polite language is greenfield.
Greenfield.
So
okay.
we kind of greenfield sites, which I think is a more respectable way to.
Hey, you
kind of
used it
refer to these
virgin
things.
during the press conference, okay? In front
There was no
20
photographic
media.
evidence of that. I would say that basically in greenfield buildings, we tend to get between a 30 to 40% take-up rate.
Really? That's still quite low, right? If you're the only provider of high-speed broadband, they're interesting, you know.
But then again, you have to ask about how many units in these greenfield buildings are occupied.
Okay, what are the early indications of take-up rate? Because you would have already tested the market a little bit.
I think that it's probably about 5 to 10% of our existing subscribers that would find this interesting.
Okay.
And I think that there's probably going to be an education kind of period of people understanding what 100 meg can do for them.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think it's going to be 6 to 9 months before people try to really pick it up, and until 4K video gets running.
What K?
4K video. It's 4 times the definition of 1080p. You really need to keep up, Karam, if you want to be with his business. If you want to be in his business, and so 4K video is basically 4 times the definition of high def. The screens are hitting stores this week, in fact.
Oh, really? The screens are hitting the stores this
Stores
week?
not here. I think in Europe and the US.
Okay. Oh.
And whether or not it'll take off is a question of whether or not 3D TV will take off.
Okay.
You can already find 4K videos on YouTube, for example.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I and quite honestly, I only found this out a couple of weeks ago. I'm not that much ahead
and
of
you.
you.
Live, breathe, sleep, eat fiber, man. Come on.
Correct.
So I'm not so bad.
Correct. I don't know when it's going to be on your favorite
Okay.
site. I think it'll be a 6 to 9 month education period before people get an idea of what it can really do for them.
Okay, you would think that people living in condos, right,
Yes.
in the upper middle income strata, right, and they would already know this. So your 6 to 9 months seems like a long time to me. I'm thinking.
I don't think so. I mean, it took a while for even the HSBB project and Unify to ramp up.
Yeah.
And people, it just needs to get to a point of critical mass that people understand what it can do for them.
Okay.
And the same argument was between moving from 1 meg to 10 meg.
Yeah.
And the same argument can be had for moving from 10 meg to 100
meg.
That's what I think happens.
What kind of margins can you expect? I mean, you've got the introduction price of 179.
Correct.
And I guess at the end, on the 4th month onwards, it's going to be what, 299 or 199?
No. We are looking at different packages to take into account what user behavior will be. There's some people that want a lower download quota, so we may look at a lower introductory package, and people that may want a higher quota, and that could be a higher package. I think that most importantly, this take-up will be the kind of this is the kind of medium price range, and at that level, we're very fortunate to be one of the few companies, or to be just about 1 or 2 companies to have our own infrastructure leaving the country from a submarine cable standpoint, etc., etc.
Yeah.
As well as our global cable investments.
Okay.
So the margins for us are still all right.
Still all right. When you say all right, it's like 50-60% margin?
No, I don't think anyone makes that. I think
Really?
any healthy fixed line broadband provider will probably make in the 30 to 40
range. 40% range. I guess when you talk about the submarine cable, let's talk about the Unity North cable system, right?
Yes.
How important is your stake in that system been for you to be able to roll out, your 100 megs here now?
Well, one thing is about costs, right? So we manage to keep our unit costs low. As unit costs are low, we can offer more bandwidth to customers at the same price point. The second thing is about quality.
Okay.
By having our own infrastructure across the Pacific, we get to control the quality of traffic up and down. And that directly determines the customer experience.
Now, we've got that company called Versati, right, that is offering and has offered
I'm-
1 gigs to the home.
To be honest, I'm not really into pasta. I'm more of a Tosai guy.
Tosai, yeah.
Yeah, and particularly the times that I've had pasta, I preferred fettuccine and linguine. But sorry, you were saying there's a new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you thought I was talking about food, right? No,
Yeah,
Versati
sorry.
is a serious telco company out there. And not just telco, they've got multiple projects out there.
Right.
But they've really made their name in. They had their launch last year, I think. Some
Really?
big wigs came and they launched 1 gig fiber to the home.
Wow, haven't seen them in the market, to be honest.
But how does this 179 offer then? Is there an issue of cannibalization? Obviously not. You would have thought through everything,
No,
right?
I mean, in this case, it's not. I think it's a progression of the market. I think we all understand that bandwidth speeds will basically move up,
Yeah.
but price points will remain.
price points will remain.
Yeah, I mean
Wow.
that's what will happen. I mean, in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, we could be offering a gig at 179.
At 179, yeah.
So bandwidth moves up, but price
That'll be
points
the day,
don't.
man. That'll be the day.
That'll be the day, hopefully.
This episode is brought to you by the Malaysian Software Testing Board, a national body that represents software quality assurance. Test it right.